Hey everyone, this is alexusadays and we're continuing Playwright QA automation course. So today we're going to understand the Playwright code that Codegen created. So this will be module 3, understand Codegen code. So in the previous video we looked at how to automate the login process to the website, the internetherokuapp.com login, using Playwright's powerful code generation capabilities. Code generation allows for rapid prototyping of tests. Testers can generate the skeleton of a test case quickly and then refine and expand upon it, which is significantly faster than writing tests from scratch. Codegen is a great way to learn coding. First, you can generate code automatically and then practice by rewriting it yourself. This helps you get better at understanding how code works. Today we're going to build the same test case together and we'll go through the code line by line, explaining what each part does as we proceed. Okay, so here we have our Codegen login spec.js, the one that Codegen created. Let's go ahead and then test create new file and call it just login.spec.js. So this is the file where we create our code. So now I want you to do a split screen. There's a split editor right here. So if you click on it, you can see we have login window open here now, and then we can close this one, this tab right here. Okay, so now we will have code side by side. One thing though, there is a way to fit more, so you can zoom out in the view. So view, appearance, and zoom out, right? And then also we can minimize our Explorer right here. So if I click on Explorer in the left corner, now it's gone. So I have two code windows that we can work with. So the test case starts with import test expect from Playwright test. So what it does, and if we will highlight this area, just mouse over test and click control and click on it, you can see it takes us to node modules, Playwright types, and to the file. So essentially when we were doing installation, and you remember it created here a file called package.json. It created a directory where it placed our package for Playwright. So when we're doing import test expect, we're actually importing test functionality and expect functionality from that Playwright module. So that's the line that does that. So we need this line in order to be able to work with the Playwright. So, so I'm going to close this menu again, explore, and let's create the same line. So import and then test. So with that we will be able to run the test, and then expect. With that line we will be able to do verification. So from, and here we're just saying at Playwright test. So it knows where it is, it knows it's a node module, it knows the directory, so it's going to go and grab that functionality from there. Okay, perfect. Now, in order to start test execution, we need to create word test. Then we open parentheses, and in curly braces, just like that, we will provide code. One thing though, everything has to be within the parentheses. So here, we want to have text here. So that will be the title of the test case. So in the quotes, we want to separate it by comma. We do want to have a sync keyword because a sync keyword is essentially will wait for everything to be executed step by step. And I'll explain in details. I'll give more examples as we go. We'll have a deeper dive in everything that we do today. But just now I want to have like a boilerplate visual structure of the code. So then we open parentheses, we put an arrow key, and we separate our curly braces. Over here, we also want to add word page in curly braces, and that will be our boilerplate code to run in tests. So with the word test, we initialize the test that we're going to do. Here, we want to provide name of the test that we will have. So this is a login test. So whatever name you want, we're going to call it a login test. Then there's a sync keyword. When you work with web pages, not everything loads at the same time. So this combination with async await that you see right here allows the code to wait for the elements to load, and essentially it returns a promise. So it says at some point this page will load, and this address will load, and I will take it in first. So it waits for this response. This page right here is waiting for this response, and then when it comes back, when it's available, then it gets executed using this async await combination. So Playwright is smart in this way because before that you had to manage, if something was failing, if something wasn't loading, you had to manage a lot of code, a lot of asynchronous code to make sure that everything executes. With Playwright, there is no more issue like that. I mean, occasionally there might be some things that you need to tweak, but generally speaking, it waits for all of the elements and it's built in. All right, so our very first step is that we're going to this particular page. So I'm just going to copy and paste this code. So it says await page dot and then go to command and then the address of this page. And let's add our pause right after this so we can see that it actually does go to the page. So await page dot pause. And what we can do here, I remove dot only in the Codegen, and I'm going to add dot only in the test that I'm creating. So only this test is going to execute. In the console, we can say npx playwright test dash dash headed, so we can see what's happening. Okay, our test is running, and here we have our inspector pausing and coming up on the pause command on line 5, and we are at the page. Perfect. So now once that is done, what is happening here? So next thing, we're going and grabbing by label username and clicking on it. So when we'll be working with a page, and I'll have it here available, go to the internet.herocode.com, log in, and here you can right click and do inspect. When you do inspect with a right click, it opens a console, DevTools, where you can see how to locate certain elements. Over here we have username, and we have an ID username. So you can provide this as a locator. Now, Playwright does suggest to use built-in locators. So here is documentation for locators on Playwright. And it says, Playwright comes with multiple built-in locators. To make tests resilient, we recommend prioritizing user-facing attributes and explicit contracts such as page getByRole. So Playwright saying use our locators first, the one that we have provided. So getByRole, getByLabel, getByPlaceholder. There's a whole list of the locators that they have, right? So you can see it in the quick guide at the top. By role, by text, by label, by placeholder, by alternative text, by title, by test ID. And that's all great most of the time. I mean, you can use that. But the second best when you create automation test cases, normally you will have an ID, a unique ID built in for the element. If it's not there, maybe you can talk with your dev team and ask to create unique IDs for elements to interact with. So to do that, you can just use and go by locator. So here we have by locate by CSS or XPath. So we will be using CSS. In some examples, we're going to use built-in locators that Playwright provides. In some ways, we're just going to use locator, this one, and provide certain CSS attributes. Again, this is just a brief explanation of what's going on. We will have following videos that dive in depth on how to get locators, what are different locators are there, and so on. All right, so we're back at the page. We right-clicked, inspect, and we can see it has ID username. If I'll go to console, I put $, parentheses, and within quotes, I put hashtag username, $2, right? Over here, you can see it gets highlighted. So it found only one username, ID, and it highlights when I hover over it. So there's only one username, and I can use this locator. So I can say await await page dot locator was in quotes here, hashtag, username, and then dot click. So it will find this field by the locator username, by the ID, and then it will click on it. Same thing that we were doing on line 6 with Codegen, but the difference is it was getting by label username, and we're doing it by page locator. And here, if I'll click on by label, it will explain what's the difference. So most form controls usually have dedicated labels that could be conveniently used to interact with the form. In this case, you can locate the control by its associated label using by label. So it's looking specifically on the label. And do we have a label here? Let's inspect it one more time. And here is label. So you see it's within the label tags. So, but instead of label, we actually used ID, this guy right here. So there are multiple ways how you can get the element that you're trying to reach. In line 5 right here, I'm using unique ID, and the Playwright Codegen used label. So the next step is to fill out the actual login information. So same thing, await page dot locator. And it's still username, same field, right? And then we say dot fill, and then we need to provide in parentheses, in quotes, what are we filling in that field? So Tom Smith. Okay, perfect. The next one is password. So again, it got it by label password. We're gonna go back to the Internet Chromium, right click inspect. Let's press on this little mouse here, and let's go to the password field, and then again there is an ID here, password, so I can again use this ID. When you use an ID, you just provide a hashtag and the ID value in the quotes. So I can just copy and paste it, and over here I will update it to password. Same here, I can copy, paste it, and let's just have password here. So for the password, we're filling in super secret password. All right, so we're getting closer. The next element that it was interacting with is button, and it had name login with a symbol. Now, I'm not a big fan of this particular locator, so I can still say, let's get ByRole button, but instead of name with a symbol like this, there is a better way to do it. You can use regex, so regular expression, and we will talk what it is, but essentially I can say /login/I. So this regular expression means I will grab anything, any text that is login, and I will ignore upper and lower cases. So it will look into the button and into the name login, and login can be upper, lower login, just has to contain login text. There is a web page, and again, we will be explaining more about it as we go. So regex1on1.com. So if I copy and paste this regular expression right here, it will tell me what it does. Login matches the character login, literally case insensitive. One way, like to generate code, to generate regular expressions without learning it, just have basic understanding, is to use ChatGPT. So if I'll go to ChatGPT and ask, hey, how can I generate a regular expression that will find certain text, it will have regex generated for me, and then you can go here, paste it, and see what actually does, if it does what you're expecting it to do. Okay. So we did quite a lot here. We actually got through filling out information and clicking login button. So let's run our test. Okay, and we can see it logged in and paused. Perfect. So now we're in that secure area, so we can write some assertions for that. The next line that Codegen created is expect to find this text. So you log in into secure area and it should be visible. Okay, let's see if we can find a locator that is looking at the element here. So you logged into the secure area, inspect. I'm gonna hover over it. So there is an ID and it's flash. So if I'll go to console, $2, parentheses, and hashtag flash, close the quotes, run it. There's only one locator. You can see there's first element 0, there's no other elements, just 0, and then when you hover over it, it highlights the area. Okay, so there is an ID I can use, and I might just well use it. So let's do await. So this time we need to do expect, right? So we're verifying what text will be displayed there, and then within the parentheses, we can say page dot locator, and our locator is hashtag flash. Okay, so now it finds it and it expects something to happen. After that, we can chain the methods, and we can say to dot and then say to contain. So essentially the same thing that happened here, right? It found it by h4 locator, we found it by flash, but we want to find, instead of by text here, we found by locator. So line 11, it found it by text. We found by locator at line 10. And we can say to be visible, sure, as our assertion, or we can verify the actual text. So we can say to contain text, and then in parentheses, in quotes, you want to provide the text you're trying to find. So you logged in into secure area. So we can do it just like that. Or we can do it like that, by regular expression. All right, so next one is welcome to the secure area text. So let's add this one as well. So next one is await, expect. Same thing here, we want to grab it, page.locator, right? And once we grab it, we also want to verify to contain text and whatever text we want it to have. So it grabbed it by h4 element, and this is what it is. So let's go here. So by that h4. There's also a class subheader, so I can combine two of those elements in one locator. I can say in quotes h4, just like on line 12, and then I can add the class dot subheader, and then to contain text, welcome to secure area. When you're done, click logout below, and let's put it in the regular expression, and let's run it. So I just canceled the batch that was running, double click Control C in the terminal, press arrow key up to trigger the previous command, and then hit enter. It's going to run the script now. Okay. So it looks like everything's good. So it asserted on line 10 that we are logged in into secure area, this text, and on line 11, right here, it asserted this text. Perfect. So next step should finish the test. Test passed. All right. So we have a couple things left. I'm going to clear the console. Over here, it clicked on the logout button. And this time it gets it by role. I think getting by role here is a good choice, because if we'll go into our web page, so Tom Smith, or our page under test, password, login. So if I'll inspect the logout button here, what we see for a locator. So it has tag A and I, very different class names. One class name that I can use is button, or I can sign out and then log out text, or a link. So there's a lot of different things I can use here. Creating something through a locator that has text would be a little bit more complex than just doing what is on line 13. But I can say, again, I can say await page.locator. And over here, I can say first our tag is A. So this tag. Then I can say dot class, so dot button, dot secondary, dot radius. So dot button, and then dot second, dot radius. So there are like 3 different classes used there, and I provide all of them. And then I can do colon and say has dash text, and the text would be logout. Now, because I already have single quotes, the text I'm trying to find here, I'll have to have it in double quotes because it's inside the single quotes. If I'll have it in single quotes like this, it will break the code because opening and closing quotes will end here first time, and then second time starts here. So if you enclose something in single quotes, use double quotes inside, and vice versa. Initially, if you use double quotes, then use single quotes inside. So in double quotes, I will say has text logout, and after that, I will click on it, dot click. All right. So you can see this locator is a little bit longer than just going and grabbing it by link, by role link with name logout. The rest, we're again finding usernames. So this time, let's find the username by label. I'm gonna add a pause right here before we click logout, so we can go step by step. And then again, it gets by label username and adds value 11. So that's our line 15. And then verifies that number that we added inside on line 16 here. So grabbing this field and then making sure that the value 11 that we put in is inside the field. Okay, so let's run the whole thing. So it ran until the click on the logout button, and then we can just go step by step. So instead of resuming, I will click step over. So it will go to line 13, and it found the locator. Now it has to click on it, or it actually did not find a locator. Yeah, it looks like it's waiting for the locator to show up. So it didn't find a locator. Okay, so page, locator, A, button, second. I think it's something with the, it's not second, let's inspect it. What's the class name? Secondary, okay. So not second, secondary. Secondary. All right, cancel it out, run one more time. So we got all the way to the login, step over to the next step. Okay, it located it. Another step over, clicked on it, then found username again, the field. Now it's gonna type in 11, and then it will verify that it has value 11 that we typed in. All right, step over last step, and it's closed. One test passed, then we have a report to look at. So run the report. And here's our test name. So this is login test. You see this is the name that we provided. Here's all the steps. There's some before hooks. We don't have any. after hooks, it just creates and closes the page. We'll talk about before and after hooks as we go. But yeah, that's our code. This is step by step, the same code that Codegen created. We just create ourselves. And hopefully by typing out this code, by looking at the locators, by looking how Playwright interacts with the elements, it gets a little bit clearer on how to do it yourself. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. This was alexusadays, and I will see you in the next one.